There's a thing called Kayfabe. Kayfabe.
Do we know? Do you know? Do you have a self-record?
Yes.
Do you have a self-record? Can you produce a self-record? No, you can't.
It's not even the same thing. Again, you terrible with comparisons because that's not even the same thing.
That's what it was referring to. Yeah. He was punched. That's what I'm saying. He was punched.
He also was like, how you gonna compare something to something and then say it's not the same thing? Then why the fuck are you comparing it? Why bring it up? It's not the same thing.
It's not the same. It's a comparison.
You guys stuck to the congregation real quick. What's poppin'? What's good with you people?
Tommy, you alright, man?
It's poppin' like that.
Tommy, what's going on with you, man? You brothers are crazy. Change the subject, please. What's next? What's next on the fucking agenda? We're not doing this tonight. What's next?
Yeah.
What's next? You brothers, you.
That's how that works. He defended his championship last year too. I mean, he won the opener.
We judge it on a weekly basis. Y'all gotta stop this.
What is a weekly basis?
I'm not gonna sit here and let y'all do this, bro. Like, there's a weekly.
That's what them brothers doing.
We're judging things bi-weekly.
Man, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of it.
Oh, I ain't gonna lie. That brother pulled up the punch. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he talking. But listen,
Because you're a mark, and the people you employ are marks, and the people you listen to are marks.
And Vince is here. And now, Vince, all you have to do is click the little on the lower left-hand corner. It'll say request to speak or request. There's a little microphone button. And then you get let in. And then you could speak to us, and we have some questions for you. The former WCW world champion is here. Unbelievable.
Yeah, well, my man is getting ready and everything like that. I'm still shitting on WWE, man. This product is bad right now, man. I'm not liking it.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing that makes no sense, and I do want to ask Vince about this. Vince, if you could hear me, man, there's a little microphone button
Bottom left.
on the bottom left, and it says request, and all you have to do is touch that once, and then you'll be let in. There you go. Now, Vince, now you could hit the mic and you could speak and say hello. This is the great Vince Russo.
Oh yeah, that was tricky, man. I've never done it this way before. I'm sorry about that, guys.
Nah, man. That's
Do not
okay,
be
man.
sorry.
No problem.
We
Trust me. It's
we appreciate you coming up, man.
Oh, no problem at all.
Absolutely. Nice
Vince,
to meet you.
thanks for hopping on. Nice to speak to you again, man.
Nice to meet you guys, man. Thanks for doing this, man. Sorry about the delay. It was a little tricky.
Nah, man.
No.
You're the legend, man. It's all good, man.
So Vince, the first thing that I wanted to ask you about, and I know some of the other guys have some questions for you, but I don't know if you saw this week, there was a boat ride for Natalia's birthday, and all the women are posting all over their WWE social media accounts pictures of themselves, Bianca and Rhea hugging each other, Tiffany and Bianca hugging each other and having a great time. I mean, what do you think about something like that when you see such a break in kayfabe? Are you surprised? I don't know if you even saw that stuff, but to me, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, guys, I'll be honest. I think it's just, man, when I wrote the Attitude Era, the first thing I said to Vince McMahon is, I said to him, Vince, we need to mirror what is going on in society. And that's exactly what we did. And I think today, wrestling is really a reflection of what's going on in society. And man, we're living in a time where, especially with these wrestlers, it is so important for them to be liked. I don't know if it's low self-esteem. I don't know what it is, but even if you're a heel in the business, it is so important to have people like you. So it doesn't surprise me at all, but I do believe, I think it absolutely 1000% kills the business. But my God, man, they're doing everything nowadays to kill the business. I think that's just a part of it.
Now, Vince, you had mentioned something very interesting the other day, and I don't know if the guys heard this or whatever, but you kind of put out a little theory that you felt like maybe Vince McMahon was trying to buy back this company. Can you give some thoughts on that and kind of why you said that? I'm just very interested in it.
Well, there's a lot of things going on. First of all, guys, knowing Vince personally, never in a million years would he have ever sold his company. Obviously, there were circumstances where he had no choice in the matter. But also, I think part of his decision to sell the company was because when Stephanie and Hunter and Nick Khan voted against him to rejoin the company, I think right then and there, Vince McMahon made the decision Hunter and Stephanie were going to get the company over his dead body. And I think that's why he decided to sell. But when you hear his explanation of Vince, why did you decide to sell? All he said was, it was the right time. What does that even mean? There was no right time for Vince to sell the company. He would have never sold the company. But obviously he was in a position where he had to get rid of the company with the lawsuit coming down the pike and everything that was going to follow. It could have killed his entire company. So we know that him and Ari Emanuel have been friends for 25 years. We also know that some of the stockholders now have filed a lawsuit against Vince stating that there were higher bidders out there, but Vince chose Endeavor because Ari Emanuel pretty much promised them he would be in the same position, in his company, but it would just be under different ownership. So I don't think it is far-fetched, knowing that Vince and Ari have been friends for 25 years, knowing there were higher bidders. Is it possible that Vince made a deal with Ari for him and TKO to run the WWE, make as much money as you possibly can, do whatever you have to do, and as soon as my name is cleared, the agreement is that I get my company back and whatever they get in return. Guys, you got to understand, man, this is professional wrestling. Nothing else in the world works like this. So that's why I would not rule anything out.
Wow. You guys have any questions for Vince or anything you wanted to speak about the current product or about back in the day or anything?
Oh, yes. So where do you think TKO is taking WWE? They're setting up shop in Las Vegas. They want to have WrestleMania back-to-back years in Las Vegas. They took WrestleMania away from New Orleans at the last second. Where do you think TKO is taking WWE within 5-10 years from now?
Well, you've got to, again, knowing Ari Emanuel and knowing Ari's Hollywood ties. I mean, he has represented the biggest stars in the world. They are connected to the biggest stars in the world. Logan Paul, man, and then Travis Scott. Guys, these are just toes in the water. I think they are definitely going in the direction of entertainment. You're going to see more Travis Scotts. You're going to see more Logan Pauls. Obviously, moving WrestleMania back to Vegas, and that may be a permanent spot. I think they're going to go more and more down the entertainment road. And that's why with the first question, Kayfabe is not important to them. They could care less about wrestling, about traditionalists. And that's why I keep saying eventually I believe Triple H is going to be replaced by The Rock. Triple H is a wrestling guy. Rock is a Hollywood guy. TKO is entertainment. TKO is Hollywood. And that's the direction they're going in. And I think we're going to start seeing more and more of that.
So Vince, if that's the case, why has it gotten less entertaining? Why has the product gotten almost more towards the marks and more towards the wrestling? And I understand your point completely. I'm not even arguing it. I'm just saying, why has this product gotten so bad? If entertainment is the business of Endeavor and TKO.
And again, that's why I think Triple H's ass is on the line. It has gotten so bad because it's real simple. Triple H is not a writer. Triple H doesn't have a clue about writing. Triple H doesn't know how to create characters. Triple H doesn't know how to write storylines. Triple H does not have a resume. Triple H has no credentials. At the end of the day, Triple H is a wrestler. And that's why you're seeing a wrestling show. And that's why less and less casual fans are watching the product, and TKO is seeing that, and Netflix is seeing that. And if those numbers continue to dwindle, it is going to catch up with them. It may take a year, it may take 2 years, but it is going to catch up with them because you got a conflict now. They are an entertainment company, and the guy writing the shows who's in charge of creative is a wrestler. And that's why I truly believe Triple H has limited time there.
Wow. Guys, go ahead.
Get him the fuck out of here now. He's terrible.
He's terrible, man. You know, guys, it's the wrestling bubble. And I always made it a point from day one. I recognized the wrestling bubble, and I was never going to be a part of it. I was never going to live in it. I was always going to be in the outside world. They look at everything within that wrestling bubble, and that's where you lose the reality. They don't know how to do reality. All they know how to do is just bad, fake wrestling. And you're seeing it now, guys, match after match after match. That's all this show is. It's a glorified house show, and they're playing for the pops. Everything you see on TV, they are writing for the pops. Paul Heyman turns on Roman Reigns and CM Punk. They're playing for the pop. The Wyatt Six returns. They're playing for the pop. CM Punk closes Raw 2 weeks in a row. They're playing for the pop. Bro, that is so easy to do. But in the long game, bro, people are going to eventually shit on that.
I just actually, hey Vince, my name is Trav, so nice to meet you and everything.
Nice to meet you, man.
I just had a very similar sentiment that you had. I just mentioned the YS6 and everything like that. I mentioned Rusev, his return, how terrible it was, how they completely destroyed his momentum coming back. They totally ruined it. I don't know how you feel about Bronson Reed, but I feel like you probably are on the same page as me. The Bronson Reed teaming up with Seth and Bron. I don't understand the concept of that storyline. I don't get it at all. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Would you like me to explain it to you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Explain it to me. Yes.
I did an entire YouTube video on it today. You guys can go watch it for free. YouTube.com/Vince Russo brand.
I'm already following you, Vince. For sure.
Thank you, man. Bro, that is Paul Heyman, politician 101, bro. And if people don't see Paul Heyman's game by now, you are freaking clueless. Who does Paul Heyman always cling on to? Bro, whoever is on top. Are you going to sit there and tell me Brock Lesnar needed Paul Heyman? Roman Reigns needed Paul Heyman? And Seth Rollins needs Paul Heyman. And then what does Paul Heyman do? Oh, bro, give me Bronson Reed. Give me Braun Breaker. Both guys who were already getting over on their
Exactly.
own. Bro, Breaker won the belt a couple of times. People were already barking. The guy showed he can cut a promo. Bronson Reed was getting over by hitting everybody with 92 tsunamis. And that's Paul Heyman's game, bro. That's how he continues to get paid. That's how he continues to stay relevant by saddling up with people that are either already over or on the verge over. I want to see Paul Heyman get a Johnny Gargano over. Bro, go get somebody over that needs help. Everybody that Paul Heyman associates himself with, they do not need help. That is to get Paul Heyman over. And bro, that is one of the reasons why I've got a big issue with that guy, because that's wrestling politics 101, bro. Bro, I remember when I was at TNA, bro, AJ Styles was just starting out. And Jeff Jarrett said to me, Vince, you're great on the mic. AJ is very, very weak on the mic, which he was. I need you to manage him. That's what you use the manager for, man. You don't use a manager for people that can talk.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with that. I definitely agree. I definitely can see what you're saying about him pulling for Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Because I've said from the beginning, I completely hate it. Like I don't understand why I don't understand why we went the type of character that Seth Rollins is. I don't know why I don't know why I have to be forced to watch Braun Breaker and now Bronson Reed, who was known as a monster, like a complete monster. We're talking about Braun Breaker, who was the dog, like then we have him with Seth Rollins. For
Bro,
me, it doesn't make any sense.
Because that is why. How many years did Paul Heyman hang his hat on the bloodline? Bro, this is his new bloodline.
And Triple H.
Bro, here's what the WWE does. When you watch it enough, you know it. Bro, they keep repeating the same plays over and over again. Let me give you an example. The bloodline is no more. The bloodline is dead. So now Heyman's going to recreate the bloodline all over again with guys that are already over. Bro, look what they did. Remember when Rhea Ripley was in Judgment Day? Remember that?
Yeah.
What did they do, bro? Rhea Ripley was in Judgment Day. Liv came in as the outsider. Rhea Ripley leaves Judgment Day. Now Liv is in Judgment Day. And now Roxanne Perez comes in the Liv Morgan spot. That's all they keep doing, bro.
They're recycling
it's the same plays over and over and over again. There is nothing new to the creative, cause they're not creative people.
Yeah, they're recycling stories. Sorry, BRS. I just want to agree. They're recycling storylines, and that's why the product is terrible. I mean, like, I don't want to use that example because it's different if I bring up food. Because the quality of food, I would want it to be the same. But in terms of entertainment though, like, there has to be growth. Like I was mentioning that earlier, there has to be something to look forward to. If everything is stagnant or everything is recycled, what's the point of me watching? That's why all the storylines right now are horrible. They're horrible.
But bro, but the problem does, to be honest with you, it really comes down to business, because I keep saying this all the time, guys. The checks have been cashed. The Saudi check is cashed. The WrestleMania Vegas check is cashed. USA Network, Netflix, all the checks have been cashed. Whether they draw 200,000 people or 20 million people, it doesn't matter. They've got the money. There's zero incentive for them to do better. Whatever they draw on Netflix, they're getting paid the same amount of money. They're getting paid the same amount of money from USA Network every single week. There is no incentive, man. You know, you guys, when I had my contract with WCW, I had my base pay and then I had an incentive and a bonuses based on ratings. The higher the ratings, the more money I got paid. So it was my incentive to increase ratings. Bro, there's no incentive there. The checks are already cashed. They're making their billions and billions of dollars. All they need to do is fulfill their contractual obligations of filling the television time. That's all they need to do. We got to give USA Network 3 hours on Friday. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. We got to give Netflix 2.5 hours on Monday. That's all they're doing. They are content creators. They're churning out content. It doesn't matter to them if the content is good or bad.
But we keep hearing how much money they're making directly from them. Like, they say it to us all the time. So with all that money, like, you don't think that they would say, hey, we need to get a really great writing staff here? Like, is that not even part of the equation for them?
That is not even part of the equation as long as they are making the money. And right now, man, they're still making the money. Now we're starting to see them take little hits. You're starting to see little dents in the armor. Bro, canceling that NXT show over the weekend was a big deal. They thought they could sell out 4 nights in a row. Surprise, surprise, surprise. You had to cancel one of the nights. We're seeing the numbers fall off on Netflix. We're seeing the numbers fall off on SmackDown. We're seeing some of the live event numbers starting to fall off. So you're starting to see little dinks in the armor. But when you start seeing more and more of that, they're going to have to address it. Right now, they don't have to because they're still making money hand over fist.
And we didn't get that adrenaline rush from WrestleMania because of how horrible it ended. It was terrible.
Right.
So they
Right.
never fixed that. They never fixed that for the audience to say, you know what? WrestleMania ended horribly. Blame it on The Rock, blame it on Triple H, blame it on whoever you want, but it ended horrible. Everybody in the world agree with that. So let's fix it now after that. And did they fix it? Nah, everything just got even worse.
It got even worse. I mean, bro, how many weeks has it been since Heyman turned on Punk and Reigns?
Too many.
Have we yet to get an explanation of why Heyman turned on CM Punk?
I mean,
Nope.
There is no explanation. They don't know why. They did it for the pop, bro. Bro, when you do something like, guys, if you remember, I don't know how far back you go. Remember when Rock joined the corporation?
Right.
The very next night on Raw, Vince and Rock were in the ring and they went to the Titantron and they replayed the entire backstory. And they said, look what we did here. Look what we did here. And you were too blind and stupid to see it. Bro, as soon as you have that Heyman turn on Punk, Punk's gotta be the first one out the gate on Monday Night Raw, dragging Heyman's ass to the ring, wanting to know why. Mm-hmm. Bro, 6 weeks after the fact, we still don't know why.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Exactly.
It's horrible. That's why I say, bro, it's horrible television. This is the worst show on television. Every show on television has great characters, great storylines, plots, follow-ups, cliffhangers. This show has none of that, bro. Zero.
They just do shit and then they break away from storylines and develop new storylines off shit that makes absolutely no sense. So now you're in a loophole of bullshit. Like with Bronson Reed. Like every single week, like since well, I don't even want to say every single week, every single show since Bronson Reed turned. Like I'm confused as to why.
Because you know why? Here's what I mean when, bro, they can't think logically.
Yeah.
We saw Bronson Reed hit Seth Rollins with God knows how many tsunamis, right?
Yeah.
Now, bro, if Paul Heyman is the what's his role again? Wise man. If Paul Heyman is a wise man, bro, how this should have went down is Bronson Reed does his deal at the pay-per-view. Okay? As soon as Rollins sees Bronson Reed, he immediately goes after him. Freaking Heyman tries to separate him, and Rollins is like, what the hell are you doing? Bro, the story should have been that the wise man did not smarten up Seth Rollins about Bronson Reed. The wise man is calling the plays, and now he has to talk Seth Rollins into, bro, we need him. We need him on our team. All that shit in the past, you gotta put aside. That should have been the story, that Rollins wasn't in on it. Because how could Rollins be in on it and be welcoming this guy with open arms that almost killed him in the middle of the ring? That shit doesn't make any sense.
And who was just hurt. He was just away from the whole product. How did they get cool?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That Rollins should not have known about it.
Yeah.
And guys, what I'm telling you, bro, this is not rocket science. This is logic.
Right.
This is,
exactly.
bro, if you just wrote this show based on logic, they do so much illogical shit. It blows my mind, man.
Yeah. I'm on the same
Soda,
page.
you have something, right?
Yeah. So, what are some stars? Do you see any stars today, men or women, that you think will be the future of the business, that are going to carry the business, 10 years from now?
I always think about that, man. I look at this roster and I'm like, you know how, bro, they always bring back the Cenas and the Ortons and the Rocks, and I'm like, who the frig are they going to be bringing back in 10 years? Johnny Gargano, bro? Like, you're going to bring Gargano back? Like, bro, listen, I will tell you this. There is a lot of talent there that I wished I worked with, man. It's not the talent, man. I got to remind people of this all the time. The talent doesn't write the show. The talent, they're actors in the play. It's not the talent. I wished I worked with a Karrion Kross, with a Drew McIntyre.
I was just going to ask you about Karrion.
Oh, yeah. How do you feel about Kross?
Remember when they first did the Wyatt Six and Bro Dallas were cutting those promos?
Yep.
Are you freaking kidding me? I wish I could have worked with these guys, bro. You know?
Yeah. How do you feel about Carmelo Hayes?
Yeah, I mean, he's another one, man. Bro, here's the problem. They're all wrestlers. That's their gimmicks. They're all wrestlers. Nobody has a character. They're all wrestlers. Therefore, everybody is the same.
Right. Vince, I would love for Karrion Kross to win Money in the Bank. I said this about 2-3 weeks ago on our show. I said my dark horse and my shot in the dark, which I know they're not going to do, because why would Triple H do something that I want? Is if Karrion Kross somehow got into that Money in the Bank match and was to win, just because of the fact that he's naturally getting over, just off the strength of his own creativity.
See, bro, here's the problem, man, because wrestling is all about paranoia. Wrestling's all about protecting your spot. And, bro, when a Karrion Kross comes along, when a Bray Wyatt comes along, when a Bo Dallas comes along, when guys come along, bro, that are smarter than Triple H, bro, that's the curse of death. Because if Triple H feels like they're more creative than him, they now become a threat to him. And that's how wrestling works, bro. My God, guys, If you could not get a guy like Bray Wyatt over to the moon, everybody who was involved in creative should have been fired. The problem was Bray Wyatt was smarter than all of them. They could not write up to the level of Bray Wyatt, so they had to write their stupid wrestling bullshit, and they had to pull Bray Wyatt down with them. Bro, that's exactly what's happened to Karrion Kross.
Hey, Vince, I stopped.
Wow.
I stopped watching wrestling for a little while, and Bray Wyatt is the reason why I literally started watching again, and that's why I'm watching now. So everything that you're saying right now, I 100% agree with. I've been saying some of the stuff that you're saying before, because I feel like, people like that, I don't understand how they don't get sent to the moon. I mean, like their character, their natural personalities and characters are so creative and special that the spark is already there. All you got to do is light it. And it's like WWE does the complete opposite. It's like they pour water on it for some reason.
Well, listen, I gotta give them credit because, Ryback said in one of the conversations he had with Triple H many, many, many years ago, Triple H said to Ryback, there will never be another John Cena in the WWF. What Triple H was saying is, there is never going to be a talent bigger than the company again. And bro, they've held to that. They've 100% held to that. Nobody's been over since John Cena. I mean, bro, consider Cody Rhodes over. Cody Rhodes is not over to the casual fan base. Cody Rhodes is over to the AEW crowd, and they like singing along with Cody Rhodes. Bro, I promise you, the casual fan base has no idea who Cody Rhodes is. Bro, I swear to God, I was in the supermarket today, King Super. I don't know if it's Kroger by you. I almost fell on the floor hysterical. Bro, there was a Cody Rhodes shirt in King Super. And I was like, who the F is going to walk in this grocery store and buy that freaking t-shirt? Like, are you out of your freaking minds? But Triple H said there is not going to be another John Cena, which means we're going to keep the thumb on everybody. Nobody's going to get to the point where they're bigger than the company and they're bigger than me. And bro, they've lived up to their word.
You know what? That's so crazy that you say that about Cody, because Vince, they call me a hater when I critique everything that's going on with Cody. They call me a hater, man. But it's cool. But what you said actually, what you actually were just talking about actually is a perfect segue, because I actually do have a question for you. So I just want to know your opinion. Like, do you think, everything that happened at WrestleMania, all right, The Rock, the Triple H thing, do you feel like there is a ongoing power struggle between Triple H, or Paul Levesque and Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
Bro, I don't, listen, I don't think there's a power struggle, because if there's a power struggle, Paul Levesque is absolutely dead. Okay? You gotta understand, this is very, very important. Bro, I was there. I was there when DX and Shawn and Hunter were making Rock's life miserable. I was there. Rock was a rookie, and it's everything that I'm telling you, bro. They saw the charisma and the talent this guy had. He was a threat to them, and they did everything they could to bury him. Rock has not forgotten that, bro. And Rock does not like Triple H, and Triple H does not like Rock. But this is what I was saying to you earlier. Bro, Ari Emanuel, TKO, they're entertainment people, bro. Rock is a movie star. Rock has known Ari Emanuel for 25 years. They look at Triple H as the wrestling guy. So, bro, whenever Rock decides, and if Rock ever decides he wants to be in charge of that company and be in charge of creative, Triple H will be kicked out that door so fast, bro, he don't know what'll hit him. The problem is Rock's a movie star and wrestling is not his priority. But if he ever decided to make it his priority, bro, there's zero need for Triple H in that company.
Get him out of here. Like I said earlier, get Paul out of here. You know what's crazy? I was appalled. I was on the side. You know what I'm saying? Hey guys out there, I'm just letting y'all know. You feel me? I was on Paul's side, and how stupid was I? My eyes have opened. He's horrible. He's terrible. Get him out of there.
Bro, can I? First of all, guys, you got to know something. Like, I worked with Paul for many years, bro. We got along great. We never had an issue.
Yeah.
We never had a problem. He was always very respectful for me. I know in 2002 when Vince hired me back, him and Stephanie did not want me back there because they were afraid I was going to take their power creatively. There's no question about that. I didn't hold that against them because I understand, bro. I understand the paranoia, and you don't want Vince Russo anywhere near that company because then there's no need for you. So I understand that. But I got to tell you, bro, you guys have no idea the number of people that work on that show. From directors to writers to producers to cameramen to audio guys to the guys that set up the ring. Hundreds of people work on that show. When you're going to run the credits with two names and Paul Levesque is one of them, bro, go F yourself. Go F yourself. Because if that's me, either you're going to list everybody or nobody at all. To just have your name on that show when there are hundreds of people, PAs, marketing people, advertising people, hundreds of people working for that company, bro, get the frig over yourself, man. The fact that he allows that when he knows how many people work on that show, I'm sorry, man. I can't respect that.
Hey, Vince, what's your thoughts on the John Cena, this heel run so far?
It's horrible, man. From what I understand, though, and a lot of people are not reporting on this, but, you know, I've heard things. Bro, Cena's calling his own shots. I mean, he's got a lot to do with the creative of his storyline at this point in time.
That's crazy.
He's got a lot to do with it, bro. Bro, there are very few people in that company that have any kind of stroke whatsoever. Triple H is not going to tell John Cena what to do. So John Cena is pretty much involved with the creative of what's going on with his storyline. But bro, again, what it all comes back to is we turn John Cena heel for the pop. It made no sense, and no matter how hard we try to make sense out of it, it makes no sense.
BRS, go ahead.
No, I was going to tell Vince, thank you for your generosity with the time, man. I don't know if you want to stick around. We love it. But if you want to go, I get it. You know, I know you told me 20 minutes or so. It's been longer than that, but we love having you. So whatever you want to do, man, I don't want to take advantage.
Yeah, we can go. I can give you about like 10 more minutes because I do got to go do something else. I can give you about 10 more minutes.
Thanks, Vince. Vince, you know, just from a logic perspective, you were speaking about it earlier. You know, you have Seth Rollins. His whole storyline here is that he's the savior of wrestling. He's the new future of this industry. on the other side, you have John Cena, right, saying that he's going to destroy this industry. That's the storyline. He's going to destroy wrestling. He's going to ruin wrestling. It's going to be over. And then you have Seth Rollins gunning for the Jey Uso, the less important title. Now, if he's the savior of wrestling and the person that's going to protect this industry and the right person to carry this industry, why would this group of writers not be saying, hey, he needs to be going for that Cena title, not the one that doesn't make sense in the Jey Uso less important title? He's the protector of wrestling. That's what we're building him as now. So I don't understand that. Does that have a logic gap to you, or am I crazy?
Well, guys, here's what I really don't understand. And I just looked this up for you guys. First of all, happy birthday, Seth Rollins. Today is Seth Rollins' birthday, born May 28th.
Yeah.
1986. Bro, how is the future of wrestling 39 years old? you tell me one professional athlete that is 39 years old calling themselves the future of the sport they're playing in. It's ridiculous, bro. He's 39 years old and they're selling it like he is. That's what I'm telling you guys. None of this makes any sense. There's no logic whatsoever. And let me go one step further with what you just laid out. If The Rock got John Cena to turn to the dark side, right? And The Rock has pointed out, I'm on the board of this company. I'm the CEO of this company. Whatever Rock's title is, I got so much stock in this company, right? Well, then why would Rock want John Cena to kill professional wrestling? Like, does that make any sense to anybody? This guy runs the company, but he made a deal with the guy to kill the company that he's running? That's what I'm talking about. There's zero logic. But guys, here's the thing we all have to understand. It doesn't matter. Their fan base, bro, does not care about anything we're talking about tonight. Bro, if Triple H opened up the show, went to the ring, dropped his pants, and took a steaming dump in the middle of the ring, that fan base would sing along and say this is awesome. Because what they've done, bro, here's what they've done. They've convinced those fans, the marks, let's just call them what they are. They've convinced the marks that they're part of the show. So they don't come as fans anymore. They don't come as audience. They don't come with any respect for the talent. They're walking into that arena. They're part of the show. Cue the music. This is where we sing the Cody Rhodes song. This is where we sing along with Steph. This is where we say, Cody Rhodes. They believe they're part of the show, bro. And that's the freaking problem. The tail is wagging the dog. They've lost control of a fan base that they're now catering to. And now, bro, look what has happened. They keep the you effed up chants, which every time they do it, man, USA Network's got to kill the audio. Netflix has to kill the audio. And now the WWE is contemplating whether or not we should tell the fans to stop cussing. Bro, I think it's a little too late for you to start getting control of this rabid Mark fan base, bro. It's too freaking late.
Hey Vince, between WCW, TNA, and WWF, where did you have the most fun booking?
I definitely had the most fun at WWE. because as a writer and as a producer and as a director, like there were no restrictions. And really, I mean, USA Network, first of all, let us do everything. They never said no to anything, but that's not what I'm really talking about with restrictions. I'm talking about financial restrictions. WWE, we were making money hand over fist. Whatever I wrote, we could do. If we needed DX to drive up in a rocket launcher, we were getting a rocket launcher. If we needed to fill cement in a, $100,000 classic car, they were getting the classic car. Bro, believe it or not, when I was with WCW and I was with TNA, I was really writing around financial restraints. And that really affects the way you're writing, because as you're literally sitting down writing the show, you may come up with this great idea, but especially with TNA, I knew there's no way Dixie could afford that. We could never afford to do that. So I just wouldn't write it. And with WCW, the problem was they weren't capable of doing the things from a production value that WWE did. So I would write things at WWE that I knew Kevin Dunn and his crew could pull off no problem. But a lot of those things at WCW, I mean, my God, guys, you remember the one thing where I was in the steel cage match with Ric Flair, and he had me in the figure four for about 3 hours because they couldn't put the blood in the right spot. That's what I'm talking about, bro. I had to write around stuff like that where I never had to worry about that stuff at WWE at all. It was carte blanche, man.
Well, my last question: do you have a top 5 all-time wrestlers?
A what now?
Top 5.
I'll give you, bro, who was my favorite wrestler of all time.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? I'll give you my top 5 of all time. I'm gonna call the big 3 one. And this is who I call the big 3, bro. Bro, back in the day when you had Albano and the Grand Wizard and Freddie Blassie, bro, the 3-headed monster, just unbelievable. Real wrestling, entertaining, I mean, off the charts. So I would count them as one. I'm going to count as a tag team as one. I was a huge fan of the Valiant brothers. Huge fan of the Valiants. So I would count that would be on my number 2. Solo wrestler of all time, bro, I would have to say, it would be Savage. Bro, no, wrestling can go on for the next 200 years. Nobody will come along with the charisma that Randy Savage had. Nobody. I would put Hogan on that list, because unless you were a fan during that time, you don't have a clue to what Hulk Hogan meant to the wrestling business. You don't have a clue. He put wrestling on the map. He took wrestling out of the circus into prime time, and nobody had the impact of wrestling that he had. And bro, I will tell you number 5, because you're seeing it now more than ever. And bro, I'm not talking about what he's done, what he hasn't done, personal life, NDAs. I'm not talking about any of that bullshit. I'm talking about his contributions to the business. And that would be Vince McMahon. Because I never realized how badly the WWE really needed Vince McMahon until now. You've got a lot of people, bro, in key positions in that company that don't have a clue to what they're doing, man. And this shit would not be happening on Vince's dime without a shadow of a doubt.
The $40,000 ticket prices, all that.
Absolutely not. The changing of the venues, the like you said, the women on the boat hugging each other, bro. Every week I'm like, man, bro, you guys are showing how badly you needed Vince McMahon in charge of this company.
Vince, this was unbelievable. Thank you, man.
No problem. Yeah, I enjoyed all the questions. You know, anytime you want to do this, man, just let me know. No problem.
All right, next week.
Tomorrow.
Thank you, Vince.
All right, guys. Take care, man.
All right, take care.
Thank you, bro.
Thanks, man.
Take care.
4 letters, 1 word. Yeah.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, as well as hit that notification bell to stay alerted.